Okay, I think I see some new names or participants here. Just a quick pitch for what we're doing. So we get together once a day, ideally Monday through Friday at noon, and we just flex our positivity muscles. I'll just leave it at that. And there's lots of different ways to do that. And yeah, so today's theme is inspired by this quote by one of my heroes, Robert Sapolsky. He's a Stanford. Uh, he's a PhD. He studies stress. That's his specialty. I just love his sense of humor and just sort of the way he articulates stuff is very accessible to me. So if we're not careful, we can easily become victims of our neurobiology. So what he's referring to here is the fact that we're biological beings, right? There's all kinds of chemistry going on. You see something that you like, it feels good, and if you just take a step back and think about, like, well, what exactly is happening there? Well, there's all kinds of hormones and neurotransmitters and blood pressure, and all kinds of things are happening behind the scenes that we're usually not privy to or we don't think about, but they have a huge impact on the subjective experience that we're having. And similarly, if something happens that feels really crappy or scary or not good, the same thing is happening. It's just different neurotransmitters, different hormones, different levels of whatever. So I think what he's getting at here is this idea that if we're not careful, we can become victims of our neurobiology, in the sense that if we're not careful about how we shape our environment or how we do what we're doing today, which is taking a moment and saying, wait a second, I want to curate or create an experience that is conducive to me having the kind of neurobiology or neurochemistry that I want. If we don't do that on a regular basis, it's very easy, given the demands of life and daily living, that we end up in a space where we're just getting jerked around by things that are happening, and it stimulates our organism and our biology, and then before you know it, you're going down the rabbit hole on negativity and difficult things. So quick reminder, here's this hard truth for us all to embrace, which is this idea of the negativity bias. So the reason we're here is because our ancestors paid way more attention to scary, negative, bad things than they did to positive things. And the ratio is roughly like 4 or 5 to 1, meaning for any, like, we register 4 or 5 negative experiences, and that equals about 1 positive experience. So the challenge is we need to intentionally stimulate more and more positive experiences just to balance out that equation. And so one example of that is, like, in my life, I used to teach do a lot of workshops and teach classes, and each one of those was followed by some kind of we'd send participants a questionnaire and say, hey, what do you think of this? Like, how was the instructor? How was the teacher? What was the material like? What do you think? And 50 of them might come back as really positive, but there'd be like 2 or 3 of them that were kind of like, oh, Ollie sucked. I didn't like the way he talked. I didn't like the way he looked, whatever it might be. And of course, my brain would zero in on those 2 or 3 and be like, oh my God, I screwed this up. This is terrible. I shouldn't be doing this. This is awful. Meanwhile, completely ignoring the fact that 50 or more people said really wonderful things. And that's just the negativity bias in action. And we're all subject to that. That's just the biological reality of how our brains work. It's not a problem. It's just something to understand. And what we're doing here on the daily basis is saying, like, yeah, I get it. And I'm going to, focus on flexing my positivity as frequently as I can, because that's how we retrain the brain. So let's go ahead and do that. So close your eyes Let's take a couple minutes just to drop in. By dropping in, what I'm referring to here is just dropping into a space of consciousness or awareness of what it's like to be you right now. And notice that there's no judgment, there's no instruction on how to do that. It's really just about noticing what's up. So feel into the body. Like, how does the body feel? Is there any strong signals in any parts of your body? Just notice that. There's butterflies in the belly or tightness in the chest, the eyes, your jaw, your shoulders. Just noticing this is what it's like to be me in this moment in time. And none of it's a problem until the mind kicks in and says, yeah, but wait a second. I should be more relaxed, or I shouldn't be feeling this, or I should be fill in the blank. So right now the goal is just to acknowledge that and notice it. Just let it be what it is. The mind has its agenda. The body experiences what it experiences. Somewhere in the middle, the two meet. And that's the space that we're trying to influence right now. And so now see if you can switch gears and bring to mind an experience that you've had where things went pretty well. You know, maybe you threw a birthday dinner for someone and they really appreciated it, or you did something at work that went really well. Doesn't really matter, but just see if you can find something where, for the most part, objectively speaking, it worked out. Drop back into that situation. Feel it. Just re-experience it. My guess is for most, if not all of us, there's some element of a yeah, but in there. For some of us, it's really strong. For others, it's really subtle. And see if you can find the part of you that says, yeah, that worked out really well, but I could have done better. I should have done this differently. I should or shouldn't have, fill in the blank. And if you can connect with that, that's the negativity bias in action. It's not bad, it's not a problem. It's just our biology. Again, this is the result of being the offspring of our ancestors that survived because they were nervous, they were anxious, they paid attention to bad things. And so here we are, and even in generally good situations, oftentimes there's this tinge of negativity or doubt. So see if you can find that or see it. It was great, but I did a really good job of that. Gosh, it would have been even better had I. It usually shows up something like that. And the goal here is not to make that part of us bad. It's not about pushing that away and saying, oh, that shouldn't happen. It's really more just about acknowledging that, like, that's our biology. That's how the brain is organized. That's how we're programmed. It's there for a reason. And our goal is just to make space for it, see it for what it is, and then consciously choose how we want to relate to it. We can let the anxiety or the negativity completely diminish all the good stuff, or we can hold it as a, oh, yeah, there it is. Of course, there's always going to be some doubt, some questioning. It's just the way it is. And I did a pretty darn good job at that, or it worked out pretty well. So, as always, the goal is not to diminish or make bad or repress or deny any experiences that we have. It's just about seeing things more clearly and getting real with experience and just saying, like, of course, it's always going to be a part of it. And another part of me that gets to choose how I hold that or what I do with it. Take a deep breath in through the nose, long, slow out breath through the mouth, relaxing your shoulders, your neck, belly, the hands, just letting it go. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and in and out. Slowly pushing air all the way out. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes, come on back. We're out of time. I feel like I could have kept on going for probably another 20, 30 minutes, but it's all the time we got for today. Hope to see you tomorrow, everyone. Thank you.